Hi Gary.
Hi there, Hervé. How are you?
Welcome in Brussels.
Thank you very much.
Welcome at Abelag.
Thank you very much.
Follow me.
All right. If you look at business aviation in general, there's a very, very strong link between business aviation and the state of the economy. So right now, if you look at what's going on the wider economic scenario in Europe, it's very, very strongly related to what's happening on business aviation.
The shape and state of business aviation has dramatically changed over the last 6-7 months. No one can pretend not to have seen the latest figures from Eurocontrol, showing a 17% decrease of the daily flights in the Eurozone. However, we have to relativize those figures because business aviation has experienced a huge exponential growth over the last 2, 3, 4 years. And we could not have continued at such pace forever. The three CEOs, manufacturers, gathering in the Congress in Washington, and the question was raised: how did you get there? They should have anticipated this question long time ago. They should have been briefed, being able to explain, to describe what are the benefits of business aviation to their company in terms of flexibility, of reactivity.
What the lesson learned from the US has been is that we cannot afford to be caught off guard. And I think groups such as the EBAA are beginning to do this already, where they're putting out the message. They'd recently published these talking points where people, like you said, the CEOs of the US big three automakers were completely unprepared. So they're put out these talking points so that people can actually go and speak confidently and say, business aircraft usage is it's a productivity enhancing tool. It allows more efficient use of time, and these are the reasons that we're doing this. There's another issue, for example, that I can see possibly that is already being addressed but needs to be addressed more. As you say, we need to evangelize more. Is this whole issue of sustainability, the whole issue of the environmental impact. The emissions trading scheme is coming into force. It's going to cover some business aircraft operators as well, and there is that public perception that a business jet user is the largest carbon emitter that you can possibly get on a per person basis, and there's no real way to shake that or to get away from that. But on the other hand, there is the reality that in aggregate, business aviation in Europe accounts for an infinitesimal proportion of the actual total carbon emissions in Europe. And that sort of message needs to be played out much, much more than it already is. I mean, we're already doing that as a business aviation community, but I think that's going to be a big challenge going forward to continue to promote that message.
The main elements that I always put forward are flexibility, flexibility, and flexibility. It's you decide the schedule, the routing of the aircraft. It's not the aircraft decides for you. So that's the main point of course, reduced checking, no delay, no connection, etc. It's a big added value of business aviation.
When you divide the cost per passenger, it begins to become not comparable to commercial aircraft travel on a number by number basis, because as you say, they're two different markets. But in terms of the value of time, it actually becomes quite a cost-effective proposal to use business aircraft in those kind of situations.
Our business is all about confidence. It's true that today corporates have lost confidence. They don't know when we will have reached the bottom of the crisis. But I think positively, having experienced the other day a 3 hours delay on an airline flight, and 2 days after having been forced to sleep at an airport hotel. I really was reassured about the future of business aviation for people traveling from cities to cities every day.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a nice conversation.
Yes, and thank you very much for having me. It was a good discussion. And
always a pleasure to welcome people at Abelag.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at eBase.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.